later. Okay, bye-bye. Well, that was no help. Welder diffs, or a lock diff. We love them, they serve their purpose very well, but can you daily drive with a welder diff? I'm going to explain today why you can, but at the same time, it's not going to be as easy as just, getting in your car and going for a drive. So let me show you. So what you're seeing there is the inside wheel traveling at the same speed as the outside wheel, which in turn gives it that the chirping, because quicker rate than the outside wheel. The one thing that you won't notice when you're driving a car with a lock diff or a welder diff is when you're just driving normally, you literally cannot tell that it has one. As long as you're going in a straight line or you're making big turns, you will never know that it has a lock diff. When you're driving straight, both wheels are going at the same speed, well, they should be at least. The next destination is when you're really going to notice it as well. So after you've picked up your high school girlfriend from the local public high school, what you want to do is come to your nearest Macca's drive-thru and show off your welded diff. You go, hey baby, look at this. Hey there, can I please get a small frozen Coke?
Sure, anything else?
Just a soft serve as well.
Alright, that just comes to $165.
Thank you.
Head to it again.
That's expensive, man. And tonight will be the night that I will fall for you over again. Thank you. Cock. Ow! Whilst we're here, it's a perfect opportunity to show you guys a new product on the Paikin Apparel website. Have a suss at this.
Damn, son!
So, if you can't tell, this is an outline, a silhouette of an AU. Look, it's got roof racks, it's got mud flaps, and it's got the pea shooter exhaust. If you want this, these are going to be available on the Paikin Apparel website very soon. There are a couple more stickers that I'll insert on the screen as well, but this is probably my favorite one. So, support the channel, cop some stickers. Hello, we are back for yet another episode on the EF. It's been a very, very long time, I know. Been waiting on a few things, been waiting on a few parts to come in and whatnot. We are ready to begin getting this car back to its former glory. But we're missing something. Just hold on. So, a couple of weeks ago, I dropped the sock head off at my local machine shop and they cleaned it up very nicely. They skimmed the head as well. Oh, fuck. What it basically means now is we can start refurbishing it, reassembling the cam, the valve springs, the valve stem seals, and most importantly, lapping the valves. I'm going to lap my valves on a budget because this is a very, very budget-friendly car. Well, it's supposed to be. It's sort of getting a bit out of hand now, but I'm going to attempt to do it. And if I fuck it up, well, guess we'll find out when the car has no compression. But before I start anything on this head, I want to give you guys a quick look at what the valve seats and the valves look like. A quick inspection here. It doesn't look too bad. There's not actually too much pitting, which is really good, around the exhaust valves. I'm not too concerned about the intake valves. That's not really... For an unknown kilometer head, it's actually in pretty decent condition. There's no real pitting around the valve seats or anything. I don't know if it's had a valve job before. There's a bit of pitting there, but this is the reason why I'm doing it. And hopefully the valves aren't in terrible condition either. I haven't really had a look at them properly. I shall do that now. So the intake cam doesn't look too bad. What I'm interested in actually is the exhaust valve, because obviously all the shit comes out of there. It's actually not too bad. I thought it was gonna be way worse. It looks like it's definitely had a valve job in the past. This is all to prepare this car for a turbo. So let's attempt this. What you're gonna need for the job is obviously a head, valves, and you're gonna need valve lapping compound. This is Permatex. I don't know who makes the best stuff, but doesn't matter. Ideally, you're supposed to do it by hand, but I don't really care. So I'm going to use a drill, and if you're using a drill, what you're going to need is some masking tape or any sort of tape to protect when the valve goes inside the drill. Just wrap it round, get any oil off there. Just a little touch like that. I don't know if you can see that. Pop it in like this into the valve guide. For some reason it's a little bit stiff. A layer or two just on the end of the valve. So all 12 valves are now done. I'm just going to take the intake valves out, give them a bit of a clean. They look pretty good. None of them were pitted or anything, so I didn't bother being as meticulous as I was for the exhaust valves, because the exhaust valves were in much worse condition as expected. But yeah, so hopefully this should increase the sealing abilities of the valves and give us more power. We need to go and get a couple of things for this. So what I need is a new valve cover, because it was over tightened and now it's fucked. We'll just see. We'll see what we need. I'm gonna take the daily here. This has been the daily pig for the last few days. I've been really enjoying driving it, but this has a small issue. This car is so hectic that it blows off its own dose pipe. So from the boost, from when it doses, it just blows it off. This thing has been very reliable for some reason. If you guys haven't seen the video of when I painted this and got these AN fittings welded on, go check it out. DIY valve cover painting. It turned out amazing. This was like 50 bucks, and a paint shop would charge like $200-300 for that. So don't mind the airbag and ABS lights, that's just Nissan things. There's nothing wrong with the airbags and there's nothing wrong with the ABS other than a speed sensor, so that's probably what the problem is. But anyway, let's take this to the nearest wreckers. Here we have a Ford Focus, we have a VZ Commodore with the famous Alloy Tech engine. I'm not surprised it's in a junkyard. Got a Micra, a Kia Sorento, got a Mirage. Look at this thing. One of these with a MyVex swap from an FTO, that would be sick. This has a 4G15 in it, which is the same motor that Rex has in his Lancer, which is currently turboing. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, head over to Rex's channel. He's put a Max Peating Rods turbo on a 4G15. So I'm interested to see how that goes when it's done. Here is a EF Fairmont, I believe. I know it's a Fairmont, but is it an EF? You can tell by looking at the instrument cluster. Yep, it's an EF. So the instrument cluster looks a little bit different to an EL. It looks a bit older, which I prefer. I think the only difference from an EF and an EL valve cover is that an EF doesn't say 4.0 injected or some nonsense like that. Yeah, I don't know. Let me make a phone call. I have a question. I'm at Jolly's. Do you think an EL rocker cover would work on my EF? Because I'm looking at an EF one and I looked at an EL one. The only difference between an EF and an EL one is that the EL has writing on it. Well, I might try my luck, because that one's already taken off, so I don't have to remove anything. Alright, anyway, I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye. Well, that was no help. I'm just gonna try my luck. Alright, I found it again. Someone's taking the fucking struts off this. Alright, we've secured it. I don't need the oil cap, because I know they're gonna charge me more for that. So I'm just gonna take that off. Fucking weld it on. Here are the goods. wondering whether an EL and an EF rocker cover are the same, I've come to the conclusion that I think they are. And you guys that know E-Series very well are probably screaming at me in the comments right now, telling me, Nathan, you're a fucking idiot, of course they're the same. Turns out they are the same. So, because I haven't worked on this car in so long, been waiting on parts and stuff like that, I didn't realize that EFs also have the writing here. And this is the EL rocker cover. So I'm going to get this one cleaned up. I'm going to attempt to weld some AN fittings on myself. I don't know if I've shown you guys, but a few months ago I bought a welder. And here it is. It's a Unimig AC DC welder. I have very, very minimal welding experience. So will be interesting to see how I go with that. All I need now is to assemble the head. I do have some potentially bad news. I might have to pull the motor. I should have done that in the first place, but I sort of regret it. But you guys will find out in the next video whether I'll need to pull the motor or not. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. EF content is resuming as normal, but until next time, thank you again. Go cop some merch. See you in the next one.